What's going on, guys? John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about this new Panda Bear album, Buoys. Panda Bear, aka Noah Lennox. For years now, he's dabbled in the weirder and more experimental side of indie pop, mostly after the success and popularity of his group Animal Collective. And for the most part, his solo work has been just as genre-defying and critically and fan-loved. His debut album, Young Prayer, was this very stripped down, an acoustic album, something I didn't see coming at the time. It dabbled in everything from early Beach Boys influences, as well as the early days of Noah's soundplay. But it was 2007's Person Pitch that really put him on the map. This was an album that was built up around heavily psychedelic rhythms and a much more hypnotic approach, and his voice on this album is just absolutely soul-melting. It is beautiful. The result is just this absolutely masterpiece of an album that's brimming with boyish charm and nostalgia as well. But ever since then, I've been a little on the fence with Panda. I thought his follow-up album, Tomboy, brought a lot of the same elements to the table. However, over time, I felt like some of the songs didn't really stick out to me as much. Plus, I sort of wanted him to go back to that more repetitive and hypnotic style of Person Pitch. Panda, to me, just on this album seemed a little bit more rushed. Plus, he just sort of threw out some of his boyish charm for just a little bit more fun, which is fine. It's a fine album. To be honest, I'm much more interested in Panda's next album, Panda Bear Meets the Grim Reaper, which was this absolutely freakish and drug-fueled trip of an album that showed Panda going down a little bit more of an electronic route. It was a stretch, but at least it was something different from him. Now, it's been a while since we've heard from Panda Bear. These new singles are, okay at best, but to be honest, I was hoping to hear a little bit something more exciting right off the bat, which is not what we're getting, clearly. But let's chat about this album. This album starts off with Dolphin right off the bat. We have plenty of nostalgic sounds. We see Panda sort of dipping into some sound play almost immediately. But I have to be honest, this is really not what I showed up for right off the bat. It's certainly a sweet sound from a distance, but that's about it. Panda's vocals here just don't hit with me at all. I feel like he just didn't really care about this performance. It shows from a mile away. He just sounds bored. There's absolutely some interesting production here and there, but this intro is just unbelievably bland. It's not like he's never done stripped down acoustic stuff before. He did it on Young Prayer very well, but this just isn't it. That, at least, had some heart to it. This does not. So much of this album isn't necessarily terrible, but it's just so middle of the road. Take, for example, Master later on in the album. To be honest, I'm actually really into Noah's vocals on this track. They're very sweet, they're very charming, but this hard-to-place instrumental is just so damn cheap. More than anything, to me, this just sort of comes off like an incomplete demo. There are some good ideas here from a distance, but over time, almost none of them are going to hold up. And it's a shame because when Panda pulls off these very likable, longing vocals, some of them are really great. I just wish that this track came full circle. I wouldn't say this album is all bad, though. As a matter of fact, a lot of the tracks here contain this very hazy, psychedelic strumming that I actually like quite a bit. It shows up very early on the album, on Cranked. Overall, this tune has a really great aesthetic to it. I just love the feeling of this track being some warped rock track that is just so hazy and drugged out that it's just so beyond what it originally was. I think that's really cool. It may not be as youthful and as charming as some of the stuff that we heard on Person Pitch years ago, but still, this is a great updated sound for Panda. I have a lot of the same feelings on Crescendo, very late in the album. We get the same acoustic strumming that's very hazy, but here we get these big booming blasts of bass out of nowhere, which are really interesting. Take all this and put it in an extremely hazy atmosphere. It's actually really cool. And Panda on vocals actually sounds incredible here. I feel like this is his most coherent and easy to understand track. I would even call this performance incredibly passionate. Some of the sound effects I feel like are a little cheesy, like the water dripping. I just feel like Panda is so beyond that. But still, honestly, this is a great tune. And Inner Monologue is actually really great too. Now, vocal-wise, this is far from what I expected to enjoy here. This is straight up weird, actually. But honestly, it's different for Panda. It's a stretch, and it actually pays off. And not to mention the vocal snippets and the audio trickery are some of the best of the album. Inner Monologue is absolutely bizarre. Honestly, I feel like most of these elements here are stuff that I usually would hate coming from Panda Bear, but in some really weird fashion, this track just works on all cylinders. Not to mention it contains some of the album's most experimental moments, and I, for one, love it. And I Know I Don't Know might just be my favorite track here. As far as his vocals go, these are my favorite Panda Bear vocals of the entire album. He sounds so much more interested in here and absolutely more youthful. The production, the sound play, it's all right where I want to hear him right now. And for a few short minutes, I just feel like everything is right in the world of Panda Bear and I can't hate this album completely. But there are just way too many tunes on here that are just middle of the road. As far as Token goes, one of this album's big singles, I feel like Panda's vocals aren't that bad here. As a matter of fact, at times it's pretty damn heartwarming and pretty catchy too. But instrumentally, this track is just leaving me so lukewarm. I feel like there's like moments of interesting production, moments of interesting instrumentals, but nothing comes full circle, and this just feels like something that Panda Bear threw together really quickly. This chorus might be glorious and all, but this gloomy, rainy day psych can only go so far. And the title track, Buoys, might be my least favorite track here. Once again, there are these moments here where I hear like a little bit of glistening production and my heart wakes up a little bit and I start to get a little interested again. But oh my lord, why do I have absolutely nothing to say about Panda's performance here? Once again, instrumentally, this isn't bad. It's actually pretty good in parts. But Panda Bear just sounds so incredibly bored on these vocals, I can't take this track seriously to save my life. There was once this genuine purity to his vocals, and when I listen to albums like Person Pitch, I just can't be in a bad mood. I just can't. Then I hear tracks like Buoys, and I feel like he just smoked a lot of weed and just kind of threw this together out of boredom. And I really don't have much to say about this album's finale, Home Free. When I heard some of the acoustic strumming here, I thought I was actually going to be kind of into this. But so much of this track is just Panda playing it super safe. Like, some of the vocals aren't that bad, but I have nothing like outstanding to say about a lot of these tracks, and that's a problem. So while I honestly don't think that this is the worst album you're going to hear all year, it's probably not even the worst album in Noah's discography, I just feel like at the end of the day, this is the safest album that he's ever put out, which is almost worse. There's really no outstanding production, the vocal performances are solid at best. I just expect so much more from Noah, knowing what I've seen him do in the past. This album I'm feeling like a decent 6. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you like the video, of course, be sure to like and subscribe. And let me know what you'd like for me to chat about in the future. Till next time, guys, have a great day.